Hare Hare. Done, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Mataji, you can. I'm just signing in.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for that, Mataji. I so much admire your enthusiasm to do kirtan. Keep singing. Keep singing. You know, when we were kids, we used to listen to pop music, Western music, what you say, rock and things like that of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And they were really poets. And after coming into Hare Krishna, those lyrics have so much meaning, which we can draw parallels to our Vaishnava philosophy. And there was a song by this Mataji, Helen Reddy, and it says, "Keep on singing, don't stop singing, spread your music from town to town. Not enough love in this wide world, so spread your songs around." So that's what our situation is. You know, there is no more love, it's just lust getting to be more and more. And when we do kirtan, it goes beyond these senses up here and straight into the heart and soul. So thank you for that. So please excuse this, the smoke alarm is going on. I'm filling in for Madhupati Prabhu. Simeshwar Prabhu just called up. Madhupati Prabhu stuck somewhere else. So I'll try to do a little bit of glorification of Shri Hanuman Ji. Of course, Madhupati Prabhu's realizations and what I have been trying to practice in Krishna conscious. He's like the sun and I'm like a little globe all the same, we'll try it. And following Madhupati Prabhu's instructions itself, he had told me we should be ready to talk about Krishna Katha anytime. So though I'm not prepared, you know, we will try to make this as beneficial to everybody. Hare Krishna. We'll start with the prayers. If you know the prayer, you know, please unmute and sing, chant it alongside with me. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayate Nashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmiditam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yen Bhutale Swayam Rupa Dhamayam Dadati Svapatapikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Savanabhavinatham Sajitam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahabara Lalita Shri Vishakhan Pancha
Krishna Sindhu Deen Jagat
Krishna
Gopesh Radha Kanta
Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Namo Devi Namami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatariне Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Bhutale Shrimati Radha Sarita Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you very much for joining this evening's Sangha. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hanuman Chalisa. I'm referring to this book, if you can see, by Shubha Vilas Prabhu, Hanuman Chalisa by Shubha Vilas Prabhu. Excellent. If you would like, you could take a copy from our bookstore in the temple about Hanuman Chalisa. So, the qualities of Shri Hanumanji and what it is that we can imbibe from these. So there are 40 verses that have been written in this. So there is what Prabhu has done is he has compiled a variety of pastimes from Valmiki's Ramayana and Tulsidasa's Ramcharitramanas. And what it happens is through these different pastimes, we can see Hanuman's character coming into shape. And Prabhu writes a shape so genuine and lovable, he gets integrated as an indispensable part of our life. Yeah. So this is what Hanuman Chalisa is. When we understand it, when we meditate upon it, it really inspires. It inspires a lot. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, whatever great people do, the common man follows. Sweet. So here we have this opportunity to know about Shri Hanuman. Depending on time permitting, we will go through this. Of course, today is Friday night. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's every day, actually. But Friday has special significance because we all, there are very few people who get to work. Monday morning blues, they call it, because people really don't like what they do. And then they say, oh God, we have to go Monday, when will Friday come? So Monday is really like a long climb. Then comes Tuesday. Then they call Wednesday the hump day. Then Thursday and Friday, yay. What happens Friday? You had 2 days of holidays, Saturday, Sunday, and then we could enjoy the sense gratification. Thank God that's popular thing, right? Thank God it's Friday. But if we actually change the mindset, instead of saying I have to go to work, if we say that I get to go to work, because being unemployed, obviously you won't get any Lakshmi and you won't be able to take care of yourself and your family, the deities. That's the worst situation to be in. So if we actually are a little thoughtful and change that mindset from, oh, I have to go to work, you say that I get to go to work, then we can actually be grateful for that opportunity that we get. And then, it won't be such a big It won't be such a big burden. And the same thing even with our sadhana when we do japa. If we say that I get to do japa, how fortunate I am, then perhaps our attention, pronunciation, speed, everything will come in place. Hare Krishna. So the first Shlokam, Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja, Nijamana Mukuru Sudari, Barana Raghuvara Vimala Jasu, Jodayaku Falajari. With the dust of the lotus feet of the Guru, I cleanse the mirror of my mind. And then I sing the glories of Raghuvara, who bestows the fourfold fruits of life. Hare Krishna. So what this tells us is whenever we do something, we take the blessings of personalities. Who is Guru? Guru is the mercy representation of Krishna. You know, there is mercy. What is mercy? Yeah. Mercy is something where the undeserving gets, you know, someone who's not qualified, he gets something which he is not deserving. That is because of compassion. So you can see in our mundane example, the president has the power to grant clemency. So suppose someone has committed a crime and then he needs to be executed, the president can say, okay, theek hai, you know, let him go. The president can commute a death sentence. So similarly, president has just limited power, temporary power, whereas Krishna, who's the supreme authority, you get it? He sees the condition of all of us. He's the supreme father and he cannot tolerate it. So he says, you know, grant these. So what Krishna does is there is these empowered beings and they come in the form of the Guru. So as it is said, through the mercy of Guru, one gets Krishna, and through the mercy of Krishna, one gets a Guru. So that is the first thing we need to recognize that, you know, मैं कुछ नहीं हूँ, I'm nobody. There is this, it's all happening because of this mercy. So Guru is the conduit through which this comes. Now, earlier we had spoken about dear devotees that mercy is for the unqualified. And yet we have to do these do's and don'ts, the regulative principles. So we're trying to qualify to receive mercy. So Romapal Maharaj was asked, what is this thing? You know, if mercy is for the unqualified, why are we qualifying ourselves? You know, have to go through these four regulative principles, do this, don't do that, things like that. So is really mercy uh, unconditional? Is mercy, you know, it really shakes up the understanding of mercy? So he gave a very nice answer, Maharaj. He says mercy is like sunshine. Krishna's mercy is like sunshine. It spreads all over. It doesn't discriminate whether you're a Brahmana, whether you're a devotee, whether you're a sinner, a mlecha, whatever be the case, it doesn't discriminate. It gives mercy unconditionally. Correct? It gives mercy unconditional. Sunshine is unconditional. However, we, with a free will, choose to remain in the dark basement of our ignorance. It's all dark, dark basement of our ignorance. So, what you do is this qualifying process is us climbing through that basement, and the Guru and the Vaishnavas, you know, the Acharyas, they are the ones who are holding our hand and leading us up the stairs to come and step out into the sunshine. So that is the understanding of what mercy is. In absence of the gurus, okay, there's really, we'll still be stumbling through the dark. So the first thing over here is, you know, the acknowledgement with the dust of the lotus feet of the Guru. Now, what does dust of the lotus feet of Guru mean? You know, I'll share some of my personal experiences with you all. My Guru Maharaj of Holiness Radhanath Swami at New Vrindavan, we were all sitting in his room, you know, a few devotees, 10, 15 devotees. And there was one devotee who was, you know, continually sitting next to Maharaj and massaging Maharaj's feet. And, you know, I was pretty new to Hare Krishna. And I was saying, wow, he's so lucky because Guru Maharaj really doesn't like people touching his feet. So this went on for some time. And then afterwards, everyone departed. I stayed back. So Maharaj laughed and said, yes, Prabhu, what can I do for you? So I said, Maharaj, can I take the dust off your lotus feet? And he burst out laughing. He's saying, as you wish, Prabhu. Now, at least I had some senses. It's not what my wish is. It says you should always do what is the wish of the Vaishnava and the Guru. I said, no, no, Maharaj, whatever you say. He said, no, no, Prabhu, whatever you wish. So we went back a couple of times. You wish, no, no, Maharaj, you are. And then I thought, Maharaj in his humility is not going to say, yeah, come, uh, take the dust off my lotus feet. And I said, why am I getting into an argument? And I just jumped and, put my head on his feet. And then Maharaj became a little grave. And he says, the real meaning, what is the real meaning of the dust of the Vaishnavas, Guru's lotus feet? The real meaning of the test is obedience to instructions. Obedience to instructions. So keep this in mind. There are so many instructions which have been given to us. And just following even one sincerely, doesn't matter if it is imperfectly, sincerely, with the intention to please Guru and Krishna, then that is the success of life. Hare Krishna. So this is what the first one opens up with, is the uh, importance of Guru. Hare Krishna. Then, बुद्धिहीना तनु जान के सुमिरा पवन कुमारा बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेशा विकारा. Knowing my body to be devoid of intelligence, I remember you, the son of Vayu. Grant me the strength, intelligence, and knowledge, and remove all my miseries and impurities. So, this is a prayer. What this prayer says, Prabhu's Matajis, is first of all, there is a recognition I'm not all that great. And that can happen only when there is humility, because arrogance is a pedestal on which our ego stands. And more the arrogance, higher the ego. And what happens is, as that pedestal keeps rising, we get further away from ground reality. We do not know what it is. We think we know. Yeah, we think we know what are this, the status quo or whatever it is, but actually it is far, far, far away from the reality. We are in an illusion, Maya. What is the meaning of Maya? Maya is that which it is not. Whatever is not real, we accept it to be true. And whatever is true, we reject it as false. Why? Because that pedestal has gone so high and we are so lofty, our ego is up there in the clouds, that we do not even care for what is down below. We think it's below our dignity or whatever else it is. So here, my body is devoid of intelligence. Very, very important thing to understand. This body is matter. Matter is jada. It's inanimate. Matter is inanimate. Matter is perishable. It's not eternal. It's temporary. It comes into existence, it dissolves. Of course, it's real, but it's temporary in nature. That's the reality of matter. It's here today, gone tomorrow, here today, gone tomorrow. So what happens is that if we just rely on the body, and the body is this five gross senses and the subtle body senses of mind, intelligence, and ego. So if you're just relying on the subtle senses of the mind, intelligence, and ego, okay, false ego rather, then you're really not moving the needle. You're where it is in ignorance and illusion. Yeah. Why we call it the false ego? The false ego is because we have identified with the body. We are the spirit soul. That infinitesimal little spark, right? Full of knowledge. But to satisfy its sense gratification of wanting to be what it is not, okay, it goes through these channels of the senses to get, so it identifies with the body. Like, for example, right now as I'm speaking to you, I'm not keeping well. I'm a little under the weather. That's my body. It's a relapse. 2 weeks again, before I had the same situation, I recovered. But again, I have, gotten into this situation for whatever be the reason. So I'm not in my normal condition. Same way as the spirit soul. Through countless lifetimes, we have been going through the circle of birth, old age, disease, death, not realizing who we are. Does the soul fall ill? No. The body is the one which gets infected. Yeah. So we get a chance in a lifetime, through millions of lifetime, get to get into knowing who we are, self-realization, through the mercy of gurus and acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. It's their mercy, it's their compassion. Oh, these people are suffering so much. Vaishnava, para dukha dukhi. That's his natural condition of a Vaishnava. And somehow or the other, we have gotten into this process. And what is that process? Yeah, that process, as earlier, it is cleansing the mind of all these dirt, the illusion, the arrogance, greed, so and so forth. So here is the prayer that, grant me the strength, intelligence, and knowledge, and remove all my miseries and impurities. Hare Krishna. Then the next one comes to Jai Hanumana Jnana Gana Sagara Jai Kapishati Loka Ujagara. Please excuse me. Hail Hanuman, ocean of knowledge and virtue, the Lord of Monkey who eliminates the three worlds. That's the first shloka of the Hanuman Chalisa. Like this, there are 40. Chalis means 40 in Hindi. So this is the first one. So here Prabhu, Shubvilas Prabhu writes, it is said that a fool is recognized the moment he opens his mouth, and a wise man remains unnoticed unless he opens his mouth. See the difference? That a fool, okay, when he opens his mouth, you know it is. And a wise man remains unnoticed. So we do not know, the wise man till he opens his mouth. So the question was about what you speak, what is this mouth? Tasting and speaking, right? Most of the time, we are speaking about mundane stuff, and the Shastras say it is like the croaking of the frog. The frog goes, you get it? It makes all these funny sounds, right? What is that? That's an invitation to the snake. Snake is the frog's predator. So when it hears the sound, it comes and grasps him, takes him and eats him away. That's what happened. So similarly, every breath, all of us have a predetermined quota of a breath based on whatever has been our karma. Yeah. So every breath that we're taking is bringing us closer and closer towards death. So when we're speaking all this nonsensical things, mundane stuff, what is happening is we're just reducing our lifetime, and then Maya, in form of a deadly venomous snake, okay, she's waiting there, and she comes and attacks. She grasps us. What is that grasping, right? She further engages us into this cycle of birth, old age, disease, death, into all these six enemies that we have: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsarya, and Ahankar. So that's whereas a wise man. Now, who is a wise man? The wise man knows what to do, how to do, what to say, what not to say, when to say. You get it? He has that kind of realizations. How do these realizations come, dear Prabhus, Mataji's? These realizations, first of all, is you need knowledge, the proper knowledge. After knowledge, we need to have the practical application of that knowledge, because when you actually practice what you know, those become realization. To give you an example, I come from a community popularly known as Bhanaps or Amchigales, and there is a desert called Madgane. Now, many of you may not know what is Madgane, but I can give you knowledge that Madgane is a desert. It's made up of chana dal, jaggery, rice flour. Really, really very, very delicious. When it's really delicious. Now you have an idea of what madgane is, but until and unless you do not perform the act of eating madgane, you really do not know what is madgane, do you? Hare Krishna. So that is why practicing what we know is very important. You get realizations. And the more and more and more we practice, the deeper the realization goes. Please remember, dear devotees, knowledge is something which is here today, gone tomorrow. There could be physical conditions as aging, where you have memory losses. You get it? But if you have realization, that's never forgotten. You learned how to ride a bicycle when you were a kid. And even after 50 years, you sit on the bicycle seat, instinctively it will come back to you. So realization is very important. And the more realizations you have, then the wiser you become. Now, the question comes, dear devotees, is how do you get these wisdom. What is really you? Because knowledge is knowledge. You could have material knowledge, you could have spiritual knowledge. That's a choice that we make. Who are we? We are eternal entities. What is this body? This body is a temporary substance. So, am I going to be doing knowledge which is just to further engage me in this temporary cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death? Or I will do something which is more eternal and lasting. That is a choice that we need to make. So knowledge is knowledge. Your practice is practice. Realization by realization, wisdom is wisdom. So when you make that choice, then even whatever we know about the material sciences can be used towards the pursuits of these uh, permanent and lasting things. Hare Krishna. I'm so used to actually having presentations to express a thought that my hand keeps going to the computer. Creatures of habit. Hare Krishna. So the next one is Ramaduta Atulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutta Nama. Ram's envoy, a reservoir of unsurpassable power, renowned as Anjana's son and the son of the wind. Rama's envoy. Yeah. Who's an envoy? An envoy is the representation, like you have diplomats. Diplomats are all over the world, correct? Representing the country's interest in a foreign country. Now, there is a pun we learned in school. Pun is like a figure of speech, right? Same word which could have different meanings. So there it says that a diplomat is a person who lies abroad, Lies, lies abroad for the good of his country. Who lies abroad. Now, lies abroad can have two meanings. One is who is not speaking the truth, but he's doing it for a higher cause. And the other lies is where he stays or remains in the foreign country. A diplomat lives in the foreign country, not his home country. So we are have the opportunity to be Rama's envoy. What does it mean to be an envoy? To be an envoy is nothing but the servant of a servant of a servant of a servant. Yeah. So Ram has his direct representation as Shri Hanumanji. What does Hanuman do? Hanumanji is only doing whatever is in the interest. That's what the envoy does. He's not looking for his own self-interest. The diplomat, the ambassador, he's not looking out for his interest. He's looking out for the authority's interest, Rama's interest. So we have this opportunity. Though we are not qualified, we have that opportunity. What happens to now the diplomat gets special privilege? Suppose if a diplomat is speeding, he doesn't get a ticket. Though the law of the land is he gets a ticket. He doesn't get a ticket. So there are certain privileges like this. So similarly, when we dovetail all our activities such that it is a representation of who Krishna is, we bring people closer to Krishna, then that's what we are being is the uh, onward. Bicharu Maharaj had given a very nice and simple instruction. It is not just that when we open our mouth, we heard earlier a wise man, correct? As when you open your mouth, you recognize him. It's not just pravachan, it's not just so-called preaching. Get it? No. If you need people to know even our behavior, even our clothes, Maharaj said, even the clothes that you wear. He's saying sometimes there is this thing that, oh, simple living, high thinking. You'll wear all crumpled clothes and all that. He said, that's not what Hare Krishna is about. He's saying, who'll get attracted to see a person who looks like a destitute? They'll think, oh, these Hare Krishnas are all destitute. No, dress up. Dress up nicely, clean, properly. That also becomes a representation. Of course, we have Kantimala. Some of us may be having Shikar. You wear these tilak. That's so that the general public can come to know who you are, what you represent over here. So this is what it means to be Rama's envoy. Hare. Incidentally, if you have a question or a comment or realization, please unmute yourself and and ask. Mahavira Vikrama sorry. Mahavira Vikrama Vajaramadi. Kumati Nivara Sumati ke Sangili. Mighty hero, bestowed with courage, strong as a thunderbolt, dispeller of evil thoughts, and companion of the good. Who is a hero? Hero is someone who does extraordinary things, not the ordinary. All of us do things which are ठीक है, run of the mill. But a hero is something who does above and beyond what is the norm, what is norm, in a positive way. You could also have people who do things above and beyond what is the normal, but that would be something which is harmful. That would be something which is um, hurtful. No. So that is who a hero is. Yeah. Now, what is the meaning of this thing? That dispeller of evil thoughts and companion of the good. So, Lord Hanuman, correct? He is the direct representation, the mercy representation of Lord Rama. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, right? Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhikara, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi, Maya Adhikara. What, excuse me. What this says is the analogy is Krishna is like sunshine, Maya is like darkness. In absence of sunshine, there's obviously darkness, and in the presence of sunshine, darkness vanishes. So darkness actually is not a physical entity. If you know physics, there's no such thing as darkness. Because if there's darkness, then darkness and light can simultaneously coexist. But the moment there is light, the darkness is dispelled. Yes? So here it says Krishna is the sunshine and Maya, this illusion, is darkness. So what is this darkness? This darkness is our choice. So here's the sun. Yeah, Dhanurdhar Maharaj has explained this is the sun. And what happens is when I'm facing to the sun, I'm basking in its warmth. Correct? And I can see things clearly. When I turn my back towards it, what do I see? I see my shadow, my dark shadow. So that is Maya, turning your back away from Krishna. Now, Maharaj gave one further point. He says, unlike you and me, we are localized. We are localized. So if someone is standing in front of me, I can see him. If someone is standing, I want to turn my back away from him, I can very easily turn my back towards him. Yeah? However, Krishna is omnipresent. He's all over the place. So Krishna is not just here in front of me, he's besides me, my left, right, up, down, every quadrant, wherever it is. Krishna is there, Digvijay. All the directions he's there. So where can you turn? You can't really turn away from Krishna. However, in an illusion, you could be anything and everything. In an illusion, you could be flying. So that's what it means, illusion. And however, when you reawaken that process of self-realization, who I am, it's like flashing a torchlight in that dark basement of our ignorance. Hare Krishna. And of course, when you do something out of the ordinary, all of us are caught in this uh, rat race, so to say, trying to get this, trying to get that, uh, whatever else that we're doing. But you go something over and above. You do whatever is expected of you, do it to the best of your abilities, and over and above that, you're doing things which are lasting and more meaningful. Hare Krishna. Any questions, Prabhu's, Mataji's? Bear with me a second. Kanchana Bharana, Viraja Sudesha, Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesha, golden colored and handsomely dressed with earrings and curly long. So, Of course, this is the physical description, but what is the lesson that we can learn from here? So Prabhuji writes, when Hanuman was born, his mother Anjana named him Sundar, or beautiful. From an external point of view, the Vanar species, that is the monkey species, may not be the most beautiful. But Anjana, naming her child Sundar, was more because she wanted her child to be internally beautiful. External beauty wanes with time, but internal beauty does not. By virtue of being in proximity of the sun, both during infancy, you know that story, right? As an infant, he jumped to get the sun. And later in his childhood, when he was being educated by Surya, who became his teacher, sunshine had a great influence on his body. His body had a golden tinge akin to the sun glow, which is known as Kanchana Bharana. The golden tinge only enhanced when he began his journey to the south in search of Mother Sita. Hare Krishna. When Lord Rama handed over his ring to Hanuman to show it to Sita as proof of his being a messenger of Rama, there was confusion in Hanuman's mind. He began to wonder where to keep that special, invaluable, and extremely potent ring in the course of his arduous journey. He wanted it in a place that was respectful yet secure. He definitely could not wear the ring on his finger because it belonged to Lord Rama. That would be arrogance. See, there are so many, each line, there are so many instructions for us. You know, if something is important, you don't treat it casually. That is one of the reasons we don't take a japamala into the restroom. Restroom is a place, you know, where you evacuate and it is kind of filthy. So as a sign of respect, what you do is you keep your japamala, you either hand it to someone or, you know, there are those hooks, you keep it outside. What happens in absence of that? You know, it kind of we tend to take things casually and then it loses its worth cause and then it becomes worthless. And, you know, that same way when we sit with the japa, you're holding the japa, and not ordinary. You know, this is not just wood, tulsi, you know. So that's what we have to be very conscious of with every act, every word that we're doing. Be conscious of what is it I'm doing, why am I doing it, and you know, treat it well. I was there was a brahmachari who was giving a class from Radha Gopinath Mandir. And he was saying, even if something has fallen on the floor, you don't kick it with your feet and move it to the side. You know, pick it up. The other day, Mataji was mentioning that, you know, there is someone has thrown a soiled napkin on the floor in the community hall, and there are people just walking by. Why? Think about it. Why? I couldn't care less. I have not made the mess. It's not my monkey, not my circus. Array, but just pick it up and put it back over there. What it shows is it shows you a sign of respect for the temple itself and all the other devotees as something which won't inconvenience them. Hare Krishna. So what he did is he couldn't find any place in his clothes would be safe enough. And the long and tough encounters would make it impossible to retain it within the folds of his clothes. So he couldn't tie it on his jana, the sacred thread, as it would be too visible and susceptible for the risk of falling off or accidentally snapping off the thread. So he couldn't keep it in his hands also. So Hanuman finally got his answer when he saw the name of Rama inscribed on the ring. There was only one place where the holy name of Rama really belongs, and that was the tongue. The tongue should ideally reverberate the holy names of Rama constantly. Presence of the ring in his mouth was symbolic of the holy name of Lord Rama being constantly on his tongue. Moreover, it would act as a constant reminder to him to absorb his mind in the holy name. Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu's, Mataji's. So, this is what it is in this age of Kali. You know, different ages, there have been different processes of reconnecting with the source. We are part Krishna as the whole. So how we reconnect with the whole. So earlier it used to be through meditation. It used to be through fire sacrifices. It used to be through. There were for this Kali Yuga, there is the process of chanting the name. Hare Nam, you all know that, right? Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam. Kalau Nasti Eva Gatir Anyataha. In this age of Kali, there is no other process other than chanting the holy names. So what is the uh, proper place? How do you respect that sacred, the most precious? How do you do it? You know, something is precious, you're not just going to keep it in your pocket, in your back pocket, and you'll guard it closely. So how it works is that it is on this tongue. What does the tongue do again? Taste and vibrate. So when we vibrate the name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that is the proper place. There's to be a bhajan in Marathi. So those of you who know Marathi may be familiar with this bhajan. Deha teche jori, bhakti sati theva, deva cheti jori, deha cheti jori, bhakti sati theva, ugadadar deva ata, ugadadar deva, ugadadar deva ata, ugadadar deva. Very sweet bhajan this is. What does it mean? Deha, this body. Tijori. You know, what is the safe? Like, you know, if you have important papers or valuable stuff in your house, you keep it in a safe, a secure place. So, Deha Chitta Jori, keep it for bhakti. So, what is the Tijori? What is the safe of this body? The heart. The heart is the safe of this body. And what does the safe contain? It is meant to contain bhakti. Means bhakti is not a function here, intellect. You know, many a times it happens that philosophically we get engaged. Ha ha ha, very good. You know, mental gymnastics. Ha ha ha, very good, very good, very good. Okay, fine. But it won't really move the needle. Actually, it has to come right into the heart. Deha tichi jori bhakti sati theva. Keep it. It's meant for only bhakti, loving devotional service to God. Bhakti sati theva. And when that comes in, Krishna, the proprietor, comes and opens our heart up. He opens it. Ugadadar Devata, Ugadadar Deva. So this is what it is, Prabhu's, Mataji's, that the holy name of the Lord is not ordinary. Actually, if you just chant the name properly, with all attention, with all intention, with all proper pronunciation, you know, with a lot of emotions and feeling, whatever is to be known will be revealed to you just by chanting these 16 words: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now the question is that, oh, I've been chanting, you know, every day we chant. Those have taken Diksha, at least 60 rounds people chant. So I've been chanting forever. Still, I'm not feeling that kind, you know, there's still not, I know. Okay, that's good, a sign of humility. And knowing much, you realize there's not much I know. But why isn't it coming? Why don't I get all these symptoms when chanting what is described? Excuse me. Why is that the case? Why? That's because we should understand it's a litmus test that our intention, we're doing it more as a discipline, which is good. It's very good. The Prabhupada said, you know, even though we may be doing it imperfectly, because we are following a perfect process, we will reach perfection. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, you know, with the time, I don't think we'll be able to cover all 40, but whatever little we can cover, we'll try and do it. It is 8 o'clock already. So, Prabhu's Matajis, if you have any questions, we can cover it, or maybe we just do one more, the fifth verse, and open it out for question answer. Hare Krishna. हाथ बजरा और बजा बिराजाए, कड़ा मंज जनों सजाए, Your hand holds a divine mace and a victory banner. A sacred thread of munja grass adorns your shoulder. So Prabhu explains here, your hands hold a divine mace and a victory banner. So what this means is, the translation is that Vajra is a thunderbolt, a weapon of Lord Indra. You know that pastime, he was going to get the sun. Actually, that's what his name means, Hanuman, person with a disfigured jaw. So Indra had hurled his thunderbolt at him, and it had, you know, um, disfigured Hanumanji's jaw. So they refer to the lines on the palm of Hanuman's hand rather than physical objects which he carried. Lines of Raja and Raja on his palms signify immense power and fame, respectfully, power and fame. This is what we all anchor for. Everyone wants power. Why do we want power? We use power because we want to misuse it. We want to misuse it. We want to exert our influence. We want to dominate over others. Why? Because that is our illusion. That is our ignorance. Instead of being the dominated, instead of being the controlled, we want to be the dominator and we want to be the controller. Ishvara, right? But there's only one Ishvara, Ishvara Parama Krishna. There's only one Ishvara. But what we have done is we have rebelled. No, why should Krishna be the controller? Why should Krishna be the enjoyer? Krishna says, fine, here is this place. You can go and live your fantasies out over here. So all of us are hankering for power. And the reason of this power is because we want to be little Ishvara. We want to exert control over others, either through force, the physical brute force, or through emotional, there's things called these emotional blackmail, manipulation, things like that. So this is what power we think about. And fame. Why do we want fame? Because we want everyone to be adoring us. Like you have all these superstars, from the movies or from the sports field or whatever it is, very famous, yeah. And people hanker after them. People even go crazy trying to touch them. There were these music group called the Beatles. Incidentally, George Harrison Prabhu was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Bhakti Vedanta Manor is his house, mansion, which he just donated to Prabhupada. We got the Krishna book because of George Harrison Prabhu. When he left his body, he had called Shyam Sundar Prabhu and they were chanting together. What a glorious life. He was in the middle of everything. He had everything, whatever you can, material, creature comforts, but still so simple, devoted to Srila Prabhupada. So when we have fame, correct? Why do you need this fame? We hanker for fame because there's an intrinsic, integral part of us. Like my Guru Maharaj says, all we need, the Jiva needs, is to love and to be loved. That's it. So when there is fame, there's adoration. We feel we are loved. But that kind of adoration, the material adoration, is cheap. When the sports person, as long as he's performing, he's scoring centuries and all, everyone is like crazy after him. The moment he just slips up or he's going through a bad patch, everyone curses him. So what is the value of such fame? But the real fame is of a Vaishnava. So I think Bhakti, it was either Bhakti Vinod Thakur Swami or Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. I forget whom. He reasons ill who says a Vaishnav dies when thou art living and sound. In living he dies, and in dying he spreads the holy name around. So see this, how the fame spreads even after the Vaishnav leaves his body. Prabhupada is no longer physically present over here, but his instructions and his books millions, I think it's close to 1 billion books which have been distributed, and he's living in that sound over here. So that is what real fame is. It is eternal. It doesn't end. Hare Krishna. So Prabhu's Mataji's, I've tried my best to share this. We covered 5 verses of Hanuman Chalisa. And, if it interests you, you're more than welcome to come to our Sunday. In fact, our Sunday school kids, Damodar 1, we are currently going through this book, Hanuman Chalisa. That's what the kids are learning, the qualities of Shri Hanuman. Of course, we go into more details than what I have been able to cover over here, what I have presented here to you. So it's an open invitation. Feel free to join. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions, realization, comments, corrections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Samahaba obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I just wanted to share a realization that I had when I was early on my bhakti path, because it resonates with what you said when your Guru Maharaj says that our eternal position is to love and be loved.
Yeah.
Before I came to bhakti, I was an atheist. Towards the end of my first marriage, I lived for 2 years under the same roof with my ex-wife. And, we took meals with my son, but largely we didn't have anything to do with each other beyond that. And I came to my spiritual path initially through, a quiet meditation practice, more along the lines of, Zen Buddhism and personalism. But by the mercy of Krishna, I came in contact with the devotees. And, by nature, I'm very solitary and I'm a hermit. And so I found it very surprising that I was attracted to the devotees. But what I found, particularly, and I thought it was because I had lived for 2 years under the same roof as my ex-wife, and we didn't, have any interaction. I thought it was that I had all this love that I needed to give, but I also found that I needed that love also. And I'm now realizing that it has nothing to do with that marriage. It has everything to do with the fact that, my eternal role as a jiva. And so I just wanted to appreciate you sharing that and reminding me that's one of the reasons that I chose bhakti, or bhakti chose me, is because it is so full of love. The quiet meditation practice that I had was very peaceful. It was enjoyable to the senses, really, but it was empty. And so you go into that place and you meditate and it's empty. But when you walk into the temple, particularly on a Sunday night, it's full of love. And so that is, that is why bhakti yoga is the yoga of love, is, because we have all this love that we need to give, but we also need to receive that love. I just wanted to share that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing it, Murari Priyan Prabhu. Thank you very much. So yes, Prabhu, what you say is spot on to love, and you actually experienced it. So you're so fortunate you come to this realization through your personal experiences. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Very good. So if nobody else has a comment or a question, we can bring this to a close. Hare Krishna. So I know Simeshwar Prabhu has his Bhakti Vriksha. So we'll bring this to an end with prayers. Excuse me. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Hanuman Chalisa ki jai. Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for taking the class in spite of your health. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavut Pranam.
stories to Madhupati Prabhu when he had asked me to do class quite some time back. Just spur of the moment, some other speaker wasn't aware. The Prabhu, I haven't prepared, and I was very uncomfortable. He says, no, bhakti is spontaneous. Whatever you know, you simply repeat whatever you heard from Guru and Sadhu and Shastra. Typically, again, we have this fear of being judged. Oh, will I make a fool of myself? Which is all internal, self-driven, selfish kind of a thought. But here I'm doing, whatever I know, I'm trying to share. And that is what my intent is. So thank you all for giving a patient ear. Hare Krishna. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Night.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol, Mataji. How is your India trip shaping up?
Yes, ready to go to Barsana.
Hare Krishna. Okay, good night, everyone. Hare Bol.
Good morning from India. Haribol.
Like the voice of America, you're the voice of India. Hare Bol. Where are you still in Barsana, Mataji?
I'll be leaving in next Friday. So
Okay.